Hi, let's start with our chapter on polynomials. In the previous concept, we saw what polynomials were, what did we mean by the terms of a polynomial, what did the degree of a polynomial mean, and so on. In this concept, we'll talk about the zeros of a polynomial. First, let's start by considering a polynomial p of x. So if p of x is equal to 3x cube plus 5x square minus 7x plus 4, if this is a polynomial in the variable x, we'll try to find out the value of this polynomial when x is equal to 1. So I am saying that the value of this variable x when it's 1, what is the value of this particular polynomial p of x? When I replace x with 1, I would have p of 1. That would be equal to 3 times 1 cube plus 5 times 1 square minus 7 into 1 plus 4. This is nothing but 3 plus 5 minus 7 plus 4, and this is equal to 5. So the value of this polynomial px at x equal to 1 is 5. Let's see what the value of this particular polynomial would be at 0. So when x is replaced by 0, we would have p of 0 as 3 into 0 cube plus 5 times 0 square minus 7 into 0 plus 4. Now these first 3 terms would be 0 and we would be left with just 4. So p of 0 is 4. Let's look at some other polynomials. If we consider another polynomial, say q of y as 5y square minus 3y minus 8. Here the value of q of 1 would be when y is replaced by 1. That would be 5 into 1 minus 3 into 1 minus 8. Now this would be equal to 5 minus 3 minus 8, or I can say this would be equal to negative 6. Let me have another polynomial. Let's call it p of x. So if p of x was x minus 2, here p of 1 would be 1 minus 2 or negative 1. Now let's see what would be the value of q of negative 1. So q of negative 1 would be equal to, I would just replace y with negative 1 in this particular polynomial. So it would give me 5 times negative 1 whole square minus 3 into negative 1 minus 8. Now this would be 5 plus 3 minus 8. That is nothing but 0. While if we look at the polynomial on our right, p of x, what would be the value of p of x when x was equal to 2? In that case, we would have p of 2 equal to 2 minus 2, that is 0. So if we notice carefully, we have the values of polynomials as 0 in both the polynomials. The one on the left was 0 when y was equal to negative 1, while this one p of x was 0 when x was equal to 2. So these values of y equal to negative 1 and x equal to 2 are nothing but the zeros of these particular polynomials. That means 0 of a polynomial p of x is nothing but the constant or the number c where p of c is 0. So for whatever value of c, this particular polynomial turns out to be 0, that value of c is known as the 0 of that particular polynomial. As an example, we just saw that 0 of q of y here is nothing but -1, because at y equal to -1, this particular polynomial q of y was equal to 0. Similarly, the 0 of this particular polynomial p of x is 2, because at x equal to 2, the value of this polynomial p of x was 0. Now let's look at another example and try to find out what would be the 0 of that polynomial. Let's say that we have a polynomial p of t as 2t minus 4. Now for 0, p of 0 would be 0 minus 4. This would be equal to -4. Similarly, if I try p of 1, that would be 2 into 1 minus 4, and that would be -2. P of 2 would be 2 into 2 minus 4, and this would be 0. So the polynomial turns 0 for t equal to 2, and hence the 0 of this polynomial pt is at t equal to 2. I hope we are clear about what zeros of a polynomial exactly mean. So it is the value of the variable t at which the polynomial returns a 0 value. Let's say we had another polynomial q of x. So if q of x was equal to x square minus 2x plus 1. Now how do I go about finding the 0 of this particular polynomial? So I just said that the 0 of this polynomial would be the value of x that makes q of x 0. So let me say that at x equal to x1, this particular polynomial is 0. That just means x1 whole square minus 2x1 plus 1 would be equal to 0. If you notice, this is like a equation. This is a polynomial equation. And if I'm able to find the roots of this polynomial equation, I would be able to tell what were the zeros of this particular polynomial. So in a sense, I can say that the zeros of a polynomial p of x are nothing but same as the roots of the polynomial equation p of x equal to 0. So the zeros of a polynomial p of x are the roots of the polynomial equation p of x equal to 0. So let's get back to our example where we had q of x equal to x square minus 2x plus 1, and we had to find out what were the zeros of this particular polynomial. So when I write the polynomial equation q of x equal to 0 for this polynomial, it would be x square minus 2x plus 1 equal to 0. And I can easily solve this by using the identity that x minus 1 whole square would be equal to x square minus 2x plus 1. So the left hand side turns out to be x minus 1 whole square, while the right hand side would be 0. And here only x equal to 1 would satisfy this equation. So x equal to 1. So this is the root of this particular polynomial equation, and hence this is the 0 for the given polynomial. X equal to 1 is the 0 for q of x. I hope you've understood how to find out the zeros and the roots. So let's start practicing.